The mascot, that character that appears on t-shirts, stuffed animals, commercials, and somehow ends up being the symbol of an entire World Cup. Today we're going over all of them. Which was the best? Which was the worst? In the end, you decide. Before we start, a quick question. Why do World Cups have mascots? The answer is simple. Money and marketing. Mascots become toys, stuffed animals, t-shirts, and all kinds of merchandise mainly aimed at children. It's one of the most effective ways to connect the tournament with new generations, and usually the design reflects something from the host country. With that clear, let's get into the history. 1966 Willie in England. The first official mascot of a World Cup was Willie in England 1966. An anthropomorphic lion with a shirt that had the United Kingdom's flag and the words World Cup written on the chest. Simple, straightforward, but revolutionary for its time. Willie was so successful that he practically forced all the host countries that came after to create their own mascot. Without Willie, that tradition probably would never have existed. A round of applause for Willie, gentlemen. 1970 Juanito. Mexico hosted its first World Cup in 1970 and created Juanito, an 11-year-old boy with a traditional Mexican hat, the national team's green jersey, and a ball under his arm. It was the first World Cup broadcast in color worldwide, and Juanito was designed precisely with that massive television audience in mind. Simple, endearing, and perfectly representative of the country. 1974 Tippy Tap. It broke the mold and introduced two mascots instead of one. Tippy Tap, two brothers who are soccer players, one tall and blonde, the other shorter and dark-haired, both wearing the German national team uniform. The idea was to represent the unity between the two Germanys, which at that time were divided into two different countries. A political message disguised as a mascot. It's not very visually exciting, but it has its own lore. 1978 Gauchito. Argentina introduced Gauchito, a young soccer player dressed in the typical outfit of an Argentine gaucho, with a hat and a scarf around his neck, a belt, and the blue and white jersey. Gauchito also held a lasso, true to the gaucho stereotype, a mascot that was neither an animal nor an object, but rather a direct cultural representation of the country. Very Argentine, in a good way. 1982 Naranjito. Here comes one of the most memorable ones, Naranjito, an orange with eyes, arms, legs, and the Spanish national team jersey. Why an orange? Because Spain is a top producer. It makes sense. Naranjito faced much criticism when first introduced. People weren't sure whether to laugh or applaud, but he became increasingly beloved and is now one of the most fondly remembered. That's what happens with the best mascots. Strange at first, but over the years, they become classics. 1986 Peak. Mexico hosted its second World Cup and couldn't reuse Juanito. So they created Peak, a jalapeno pepper with a mustache, a mariachi hat, and a soccer ball at his feet. They put everything as Mexican as possible into a single character. Pique is the spiciest mascot in World Cup history, literally. And that's what made him stand out. 1990 Xiao. Italy made a risky decision, not using an animal or a person. Xiao was a soccer player made of geometric blocks, with the Italian flag integrated into his body and a ball under his arm. The name referred to the most universal Italian greeting. The reception was mixed. Many believed a mascot should be a living being, not an animated cube. But in graphic design, Xiao was ahead of its time. Now it almost looks modern. 1994 Striker. United States. 1994, it brought animals back. Striker was a soccer-playing dog created by Warner Bros. Animation Studios, featuring American flag colors and a cartoon-like attitude. It was the first World Cup hosted by a country not traditionally interested in soccer, and Striker embodied the blend of soccer and American entertainment culture. 1998 Footix. France introduced Footix, a blue rooster with the words France 98 on its chest. The rooster has been one of France's national symbols for centuries, so the choice made perfect sense. Footix came out of a competition among the country's top design agencies, and it was a commercial success, one of the most elegant and well-executed in history. 2002 Atos, Kaz, and Nick. The weirdest World Cup in terms of mascots was Korea-Japan 2002. For the first time, it was held between two countries and featured three mascots: Atos, Kaz, and Nick, all energy creatures, neither animals nor humans. They allegedly came from space and played a soccer-like fictional sport. They even had their own animated TV series. Original? Yes. Understandable for the general public. That's more debatable. You know that Asians are sometimes weird. World Cup 2006, Goleo VI. Germany 2006 introduced Goleo VI, a lion with a white shirt and the number 06 on his chest, accompanied by Pila, his talking ball. The reception was disastrous. First, many people pointed out that a lion represents England more than Germany. Second, it was one of the worst-selling mascots in the history of the tournament. And third, and this is the most serious part, potentially harmful substances in its plush toys. A complete disaster. Goleo Sexta went down in history as the worst mascot of all the World Cups, with very little competition, especially since that talking ball was downright unsettling. World Cup 2010 Sakumi. In 2010, the tradition was revived with Sakumi, an African leopard with green-dyed hair. His name combined Sao, the code for South Africa in several languages, with Kumi, which means 10 in multiple African languages. A well-thought-out, well-executed mascot, perfectly representative of the African continent. Sakumi was also the first character to have both two-dimensional and three-dimensional designs, ready for the digital era that was already coming. World Cup 2014 Fuleco. Brazil chose a three-banded armadillo as its mascot and named it Fulico. The name fused the words football and ecology. The armadillo's shell represented Brazilian biodiversity, with colors that evoked the country's sky and waters. It was also the first mascot with official social media accounts, posting messages in Portuguese and English. Fuleco marked the beginning of Mascot's online presence, an important step. 2018 World Cup Savivaca. Russia chose a wolf as its mascot, Savivaca. His name in Russian means something like the one who scores goals. He wore a white and blue shirt with the words Russia 2018 and some distinctive orange sports glasses. The most special thing about Savivaca was his selection process. He was chosen by popular vote on the internet, with approximately 1 million Russian citizens participating in the decision. 2022 World Cup Liev. Qatar gave us the hardest mascot to describe, Liev, whose name in Arabic means super skilled player. It was an animated turban that supposedly came from the mascot metaverse, a parallel universe that FIFA described as a place each person can imagine however they want. Yes, that's what they said. Confusing. Totally. Original too. Liev divided opinions like few mascots had done before, but you have to admit it was different from anything that had existed. World Cup 2026. Maple, Sayu, and Clutch. And now we've reached the present. The 2026 World Cup is historic for multiple reasons. 48 teams, 3 host countries, and for the first time in history, 3 different mascots. 1 for each host country. Maple represents Canada. He's a traveling moose passionate about urban art and music. As a goalkeeper, he visits every province connecting with people. Sayu represents Mexico. He is a jaguar from the southern jungles of the country. His name means unity, strength, and joy. He plays as a forward and is the most intimidating of the 3 on the field. Clutch represents the United States. He is a bald eagle, the ultimate national symbol of the United States. His English name refers to someone who appears at key moments. He is a midfielder and the team's brain.
Los tres juntos forman algo que ningún mundial había tenido antes. Un equipo.
Mascots, compositions, personalities, their own stories. And they will also be the first interactive characters in an official FIFA video game. Now the question to answer in the comments, which one was your favorite of all? What do you think of the 3 from 2026? My favorite mascot is definitely the one from France '98. If you made it this far, I have thousands more great videos for you. You just have to click on this playlist you see on the screen. See you soon.